All right, so A More Perfect Union, great video. Hope you had a chance to check it out in its entirety. And I love the fact that Virginia, who sort of had a very high opinion of itself, thought for sure that they would become the ninth state to go ahead and ratify the Constitution, and there slips in little old New Hampshire becoming the ninth state, rendering Virginia's vote almost irrelevant. And I love the fact that Rhode Island takes their good old time in ratifying the Constitution as well, right? So this first vote comes into play, and for president of the United States, and of course George Washington wins every electoral college vote, right? And to a certain extent, it's like the mafia, right? Just when you're out, they pull you back in, because that's kind of what happened here, right? After the American Revolution, Washington, right, he famously said that I have not only grown gray in your service, but nearly blind as well, was completely content in wanting to just live out the rest of his days quietly at Mount Vernon. And moreover, his wife, Martha, absolutely had no interest in going back into the public specter, right? So he's definitely, I think, a reluctant president, right? He feels that he is too old to take on the task, that he has this fondness for his vine and fig tree, as he famously says, which is Mount Vernon, right? And just wants to retire, right? And so he also is very aware and very cognizant of his reputation, right? Almost to probably a fault. And Washington sort of knows that stepping into this role of politics is going to create a certain segment of the population who may not be completely satisfied with the job that he's doing, right? And we had these two terms that came out during the Constitutional Convention: Federalists and Anti-Federalists. Federalist was the name given to those who were in support of a federal government and a federal constitution. Anti-Federalists was the name given to those who may not have supported the Constitution, right? And so this is the first sort of kindling that we see of the rise of political parties. And it'll grow in the presidency, in the two-term presidency of George Washington, into what will be a two-party system that we will see in various ways throughout our nation's history, right? And this first two-party system that we see arise during the presidency of George Washington is the two parties of the Federalists, and a party that becomes known as the Republicans. The longer form name is Democratic Republicans, right? The Republican Party that we see today really doesn't come into play until the era of Abraham Lincoln. So the Democratic Republicans are the party of Madison and Jefferson. The Federalists will be the party of Washington, although Washington himself will always be above party, and will, in his farewell address, famously talk about the need to stay away from political parties. But his ideology, his political ideology, lines itself up with the Federalists, right? Alexander Hamilton, part of that as well, okay? And so he understands that if he takes on this role as president, that it may affect his legacy, it may affect his reputation, because there may be those out there who will oppose his selection, right? And so this is a little bit of vanity on Washington's part that I think is sometimes underplayed, this need to sort of be unanimously selected, right? And then he also is worried about the reputation in which he has said, by resigning his role as general of the Continental Army, that he is going to be sort of fading off into the sunset, and that if he comes back, it'll be looked at as ambitious, right? Like coming out of retirement, if you will, right? And that will be looked at negatively by a certain segment of the population, okay? And he thinks that he's not the only person that can do this. There's got to be somebody else out there, right? So all of this to say that he's not, running into this position. But when he does accept it and take it on, he will put everything he has into it, right? And so George will make the trek from Mount Vernon to New York, which was the capital at that time, and will be inaugurated as the first president of the United States in 1989. Much is made of the wardrobe that he wore, which you see sort of depicted in the painting here. A homespun, domestically produced suit of relatively muted brown fabric, which is sort of symbolic of the citizen. He didn't come in his full regalia of military uniform, right? But he came in sort of as a humble citizen as he makes his way in to the presidency. Okay, so what I have next for you is a short little clip, which we'll talk about the inauguration of George Washington. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the houses of the president, first in New York and then in Philadelphia, which will be an interesting look at that. So go ahead and take a look at that video clip, come back, and we'll talk about the houses of the president next.